to you again. I've been trolling the internet since 1996 on a variety of websites. I'm over that now. I've pretty much stopped trolling for the most part. I mostly now just spend my time just trying to engage in different politics or whatever. No, even I hate politics actually. So no, I try to talk about history, movies, and other stuff. Oh, it's a little hot in the closet right now. Which is actually I'm actually glad I am streaming from the closet, because there's a lot of construction work going on outside of my closet, so it's good to have this room here as kind of like a noise canceling out thingy. I know some people when they kind of like soundproof their room, and I had this one tweaky roommate who like pretty much like, I don't want to name him, but he basically had like his entire it was kind of like a warehouse almost. It was really weird how to describe it, but he pretty much like built this kind of solitary room and soundproofed the fuck out of it. So that's kind of like, instead of having to do that, I'm just gonna. The closet's actually working out great. As far as people who can hear me, it's very loud. It picks up sound well. I'm recording from an iPhone 8. It seems to be working out decently. So I'm happy about that. Anyway, though, my personal life, I don't know. I still feel like I'm in limbo. I basically just keep myself. I don't even go to bars anymore. I feel bad because I'm broke. I can't really afford it. I don't know. I was thinking of going to, like, once I finish my story, my second draft, I want to go to a writing group and, get feedback on it for my current science fiction project. But that's down the road. I'm still struggling with that. My mood is okay. I talked with a counselor a couple days ago about kind of like, for like a new career, because I had actually a kind of a degree in like English, something like that. But it's, as far as the publishing industry, it's very difficult to get into. I didn't realize that at the time. So I was trying to find other work, search engine optimization in that field, but that's, I don't know what it is. They only need like 5 years of experience in that, and I don't have that. So I'm trying to get retrained into something else. Something like video editing. When I was younger, I used to be in movies a lot. I still am, but not as much so. But I was looking at that as a career. I could be like a video editor, edit videos and stuff, kind of learn more about Adobe Acrobat. So it's kind of, struggling because I had a diagnose earlier on this year, so I'm trying to, kind of like going through this midlife crisis of sorts. So I'm trying to, instead of like, just trying to be miserable, I'd rather just do what I want to do. Basically just because of struggling with like, my autism, I realized, at the age of 40, I'm not going to have a really, I guess what they call, typical family. I highly doubt that I'm going to have kids at 40. I've only had really one long-term relationship, and that didn't work out so well with someone. So, I've got to come to grips with who I am and, what I'm good at. I mean, unfortunately, I'm not really good at much. I mean, I'm bad at math. I'm bad at people. Bad at socializing. So, that really restricts not only my social life, as far as networking and relationships, but also, just any type of like feeling that I'm progressing somewhere, right? That I'm kind of like progressing somewhere. So that's very difficult as well too. So I mean, but I still make these videos because even if nobody wants to watch them, it's therapeutic, and I just try to entertain people the best I can. That's all I do. So hopefully once I get retrained in another career, I'll be able to create more video editing. I might actually try to get a crew together and film something. So like with my stories, I would love to do that. I mean, I would love to take one of my short stories I wrote and turn that into kind of like a Twilight Zone episode. I think that would be very cool if I could do that. here I am. Anyway, to kind of like so I know I'm rambling. Oh man, I feel like sick lately. Sorry, it's very gross. But anyway, though, just kind of like summarize chapter 15 of Torn Lace. Basically, chaos is happens. Susan Dean betrayed her own father, who's general of the District of San Francisco. Marie's boyfriend Joe has been now on police duty. Jennifer lured basically at gunpoint for Marie to go down to those two guys. Jennifer got shot. The two guys ran off. So we have Marie running back. That pink light that was in the sky previously a couple times before, that has showed up again, and that has changed her behavior. But also when she gets home, that Joe as well too. He comes home and basically, his entire demeanor has changed. Usually he seems like a pretty chill guy for the most part. But now here he's just like accusing Marie of being a whore. Even though technically, though she did do BDSM scenes, there was really no penetration, or there was no with other guys, or even kissing with other women, but I guess that stigma. He tries to rape her, but something grabs him and just flings him towards the wall. And so that's 15. And so what we're going to do here is, I think this is the end of it. I'm not sure though, but I'm pretty sure though this is the end of the story. Chapter 16, Surreal. Here we go. Okay. 16. Surreal. Cloaked in some type of long white fabric, the being towers above 7 feet. Arms stretching past what might be the pelvic area elongate into delicate, fleshy skin. As it turned around, face similar in structure to a canines stare into her eyes. A long, hairless muzzle stretches out a foot from an oval-shaped cranium. Whispers slide from an orifice constantly moving in a circular pattern. The being cuts off eye contact and glides on 4 legs towards Joe, who is naked from the waist down. It grabs hold of his erect member, pulsing with every breath, and gently strokes him. He lets out a long moan, with his chest fluctuating in and out rapidly as the tempo increases. Crying out in a wave of pleasure, he convulses and folds to the carpet. His eyes shine like a smooth body of water over a nerved countenance. Looking him over, the being's head darts to its hand. Raising it underneath the generous muzzle, it sniffs the creamy byproduct. Then it draws back and stares at Marie, still lying in a prostrate hold, too spellbound by what she's witnessing to do anything except natural respiration. Sliding back towards her, the being lowers down with natural poise. Its cloak touches the worn fiber as gentle as its movements. Large golden pupils with a centered black iris stare at her. She can barely make out the surrounding white area. As the face contorts into possibly a smile, the skin peels back from a large mouth, revealing 2 large white fangs towering over the smaller molars. The long fingers stroking her chin, then cheek, have a translucent quality, glowing with the sunlight peeking through the bedroom window. Marie's emotions reel from the strong, oily aroma left on her flesh. Oh God, your smell. She grabs the being's hand and rubs her cheek into its open palm, pressing her nose deeply. Her speech alternates with sighs and groans marbling from her lips. The texture is of the finest, softest gel-like tissue. Oh God, tears collect at the corner of both eyes, and a feeling of gentle calm washes over her. She could tell this in everything about herself. Her hopes, dreams, failures, loves. She could tell it all. Purge her soul to a newfound deity. But there is no guilt here. No judgment from whatever it is. I'm Marie. I'm so scared right now, but you make me feel better. Words spill from her lips. My mother died when I was young. My grandparents raised me all by themselves until they passed away. I had nobody. The being cocks its head to the side. It moves a hand to stroke and pet her hair with all the gentle movement of a parent cooing over their young. I know, Marie. I know you. I know your pain. A soft feminine voice stutters, then speaks very clearly. You've had a hard life for one so gentle. You should love Marie. You were born for that. It's all going to be better now. Everything will be better, its voice sings. The rest of the evening is a repetition of the benevolence. Joe hugs the being and explains how sorry he was for striking his wife, and how he couldn't control himself. He only wanted his family to be proud of him and protect him the same way his father tried to protect his mother when she was shot dead during a break-in gone wrong. It wasn't your fault. We didn't realize the after effects our vessels would create. The chemicals seeping into the atmosphere created chaos on your hormones at a molecular level. We are sorry for causing this, it reasoned. And how could they protest otherwise? No anger, frustration, or even questions sprang to mind. Only a pleasant, happy acceptance of this strange alien among them. Angel or devil, it didn't matter. Nothing of that sort did. After calming both parents down, the being moves over to Adam, who is beside himself with happy giggles. No perplexed stares or wonder follow the being as it observes them act and go about their lives during the rest of the night. Nothing is said when a banquet of food suddenly fills the kitchen table, and a small padded organism of some kind exits through their living room door. And nothing seemed out of the ordinary when Joe turned off his usual coal, collected himself, and cried openly into Marie's arms, and she nodded back. All under the watchful gaze of the benevolent thing from somewhere, peering at them from those large orbs steady and solid in their perception. Waking up, the taxing effort of shaking the sleep from her mind is gone. In its place, Marie stretches and lets out a pleasant yawn when she sits up. She looks around and notices both Joe and Adam are missing. Was last night just a dream? Joe, babe, where are you? Hearing nothing, she stumbles her way to the kitchen. Hello, Marie. Joe is out at his favorite gym exercising. It just opened up again today. It's how he enjoys himself and relaxes, which you already knew. No. The high pitch of the being tingles with amusement. Adam is nestled against the being's white cloak with cream baby food plastered around his mouth. A million questions pop into her head, and a million go away as fast. She shakes her head and mumbles something about taking a walk. Outside, she breathes out in a rush. A burst of fresh oxygen hitting her respiratory system freshens her awareness. What the hell is that? Where did they come from? I've seen them before. The photographs tucked away in the boxes when I was still working for Susan. She glances to her right and stares at another one of those beings or aliens across the street in conversation with one of the more reclusive neighbors. She walks past them and heads towards Mission. Ignoring the spot where Jennifer was gunned down, the intersection is a collection of people interacting with them. I've always hated my mom. She never protected us. She always hated me. A young woman's head is cradled in the crook of an arm. Her head stroked much how Marie's had been petted. The size, shape, and clothing patterns differed slightly, though all had the same canine traits and smooth, oily skin gleaming when the sunlight hit us at a certain angle. An older man with a muscular physique throwing punches near one with brown stripes that arc down along his cloak. It nods gently every time he rants, seemingly content to stand by and simply observe this life form scream in primal fear. We're pets? We're pets. An epiphany floating in her mind, then out as she never touched on the cognitive thought and where the conclusion might lead to. The massive Titantron screen, ever blaring with its projection of George Jean, is now silent with its gray texture a blank static. Where was he? She puts the question aside and makes her way back. She turns left to walk up the steps to the front door, but pauses when the being pops into view from the living room window. It holds Adam closely, swaying back and forth in a strange dance. The farther the distance from those aliens, the more those unanswered questions seem to fill her head. Why are they here? Where was Susan? She would know. Does Adam need me anymore? My own son? A thought any time else should have shaken her to her very foundation, but is brushed off. And still, there was something else she craved, something else she needed, something she hadn't had in a long time. She turns around and takes a long walk all the way back to the Citadel. It seemed more of the same all over during the journey. The aliens always nearby with someone with their eclectic style of colors and strolling around with their quiet disposition. Police, military, the desperate, all had dropped their weapons, fists, and verbal anger at one another. A calm, or even breakthrough had occurred, never happening before. Everyone had been touched in a way as to render the notion of violence as absurd as driving off a bridge. A dreamlike utopia set for all the world to feast on. Small pods float down from the sky all around her. What are they? When she reaches the complex, Marie stares for a moment before ascending the steps. The intimidation and fear of looking on the gothic ambience had vanished. The sunlight bathing the antique shaping into something more cheerful. Rows of military vehicles and wooden blockades stretch around the citadel in a deadly ring of steel. The scene of violent siege and conflict is gone, a strange relic to a short past. All the same, when she reaches the front entrance, she knocks on the door out of natural etiquette. She waits a few moments, then opens up the door, gritting her teeth in anticipation. She had visited so many times before, the familiarity is comforting. Except the difference being not a single soul left she could see. The shiny wax floor, with its intricate patterns, is down to a dull